Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely. We spend our lives waiting for change, waiting for answers, waiting for breakthrough, but we forget something powerful. God does his greatest work when we feel we have nothing left, when your patience is gone, when your plans collapse, when your strength dries up. That is exactly when God steps in. Because miracles are not born in comfort. They are born in exhaustion, in surrender, in the moment you finally say, I can't carry this anymore. And God says, good. Now watch what I can do. Today, I'm here to remind you, your delay is not your denial. Your waiting is not wasted. And the moment you feel like giving up is the moment your miracle is closest. When your patience runs out, faith begins to speak in a new language. It's the moment when your hands tremble, the breath gets heavy, and the voice inside you whispers, I've done everything I could. Nothing is changing. We all know that moment. You might be facing it right now in your home, in your work, in your relationship, in your health, or in the silent battles you fight when no one is watching. But what you don't realize is that this exact moment is the turning point of your story. This is where God shifts the atmosphere around you. Think about your own life for a second. You wake up every day, you put in the work, you give your best, and yet progress feels slow. You keep watering the seed, but nothing breaks through the soil. You stay patient for days, weeks, months, sometimes even years, holding on to hope. But patience is not infinite. There comes a day when frustration sits beside you like an old friend. You stare at the ceiling at 2 a.m. asking, why me? Why is it taking so long? What am I doing wrong? That's the moment when you feel the weight of the waiting. And strangely, that's also the moment when God is closest. Here's the truth. Patience is like a candle. It burns slowly, giving light as long as it lasts. But when the flame reaches its end, when the wax is melted and the fire flickers out, that's when the darkness pushes in. And ironically, that darkness is where God creates the brightest breakthroughs. Faith is not loud when everything is working. Faith becomes loud when everything stops working. Have you ever seen a person trying to unlock a door? They try the key gently at first. They wiggle it, twist it, try again. But when the gentle attempts fail, they become more firm, more intentional. When patience runs out, their focus sharpens. Suddenly, they're not just trying, they are determined. That is how God works with you. When your patience ends, he awakens a deeper faith inside you. A faith that doesn't depend on feelings. A faith that refuses to give up. A faith that stands even when everything else falls apart. Let me give you a daily life picture. Imagine a student preparing for an important exam. They study daily, trying to understand every chapter. At first, they're calm. They revise slowly. They're patient with themselves. But as the exam gets closer, pressure increases. Suddenly, the same student is awake at 3 a.m., reading with a level of focus they never had before. Why? Because their patience for slow progress has ended. And in that moment, the fire inside them turns on. They understand that the limit they reached wasn't a wall. It was a switch. The exhaustion didn't make them quit. It made them dig deeper. This is exactly how it works with your faith. When you reach your limit, something powerful happens inside you. You stop relying on your plans and start relying on God's purpose. Your heart shifts from how long to help me see what you're doing. Your mind shifts from frustration to surrender. And surrender is where spiritual power lies. Think of a person waiting for a job. They apply everywhere. They keep smiling, keep hoping, keep checking emails. But after months of silence, they break down. Their patience ends. They cry. They feel like giving up. But that breakdown clears the noise. In that emotional moment, they decide to try something new, something bold, a different field, a better skill, a bigger dream. That breakdown wasn't a failure. It was a doorway. Because sometimes God holds things back until you stop operating from comfort and start operating from courage. When patience ends, you see truth. You realize that what you're waiting for is not small. You recognize that growth takes time. You understand that God was not ignoring you. He was preparing you. Every delay was shaping you. Every silent moment was teaching you. Every unanswered prayer was strengthening you. And the reason your patience ended is because you outgrew the phase you were in. A seed does not break the soil until it has fully matured underground. It sits in the darkness for days, Weeks, sometimes months. It waits. It grows roots no one can see. And just when the seed reaches its breaking point, just when the pressure becomes too much, it splits open. And that splitting, that break-in looks like destruction, but it's not. It's transformation. The moment the seed breaks is the moment the plant begins. You are that seed. When your patience runs out, it means you are about to break open, not in destruction, but in transformation. Your breakthrough is not delayed, it is ripening. And when God releases it, it will be bigger than what you waited for, stronger than what you expected, and more meaningful than what you prayed for. So if you feel tired, if you feel frustrated, if you feel like you're at the edge, don't think you're failing. You are not losing. You are transitioning. You are being pushed into a new level of faith. And that new level is the place where miracles happen. The moment your patience runs out is the moment your miracle begins. Delays are not punishments, they are preparation. Most people hear the word delay and immediately think something's gone wrong. They think they are being held back, blocked. But life is not a racetrack where everything must happen instantly. Life is a classroom. Life is a workshop. Life is a training ground. And every delay you experience carries a purpose, a lesson, and a hidden blessing. When something you want doesn't arrive on your timing, it isn't rejection, it's refinement. It's God shaping you into the person who can actually handle the blessing once it arrives. Think about it. Everything meaningful in life requires preparation. If you plant a seed today, you don't expect a full-grown tree tomorrow. You wait, you nurture, you protect, not because the seed is weak, but because growth takes time. Delays do not mean the seed will never grow. They mean the seed is preparing beneath the surface, building roots strong enough to carry the weight of the future. In the same way, you are building roots in your waiting season. The delay you're facing is strengthening what people can't see: your character, your mindset, your discipline, your emotional strength, and your spiritual connection. We often want blessings instantly without realizing those blessings carry responsibility, weight, and challenges. Imagine giving a child a heavy sword, not because the sword is bad, but because the child is not ready. You don't withhold the sword forever. You simply wait until they're trained enough to carry. That's what God does with you. He doesn't deny you. He prepares you. He delays certain things because he's setting you up to receive them safely, wisely, and powerfully. Think of a daily life example, a person waiting for their dream job. They send applications, prepare CVs, sit through interviews, and wait for the phone to ring. At first, they're confident. Then, as time passes, doubt creeps in. After a few weeks, frustration bubbles. Why is this taking so long? They ask. But behind the scenes, something is happening. Maybe the company is restructuring. Maybe a better position is opening up. Maybe someone is about to retire or transfer. Maybe the interviewer who truly sees their potential hasn't joined yet. The delay is not a punishment. It is alignment. It is timing working in your favor. One day, they receive not just any job, but the exact job that fits their talent, their growth, and their potential, and suddenly everything makes sense. What they thought was wasted time was actually perfect preparation. Another example, imagine someone longing for a healthy relationship. They pray for the right partner, they hope for a loving bond, they dream of companionship. But months pass, even years pass, and nothing seems to move. They start questioning themselves. Is something wrong with me? Am I unworthy? Am I being punished? But the truth is, they are not being punished. They are being shaped. Maybe they are learning how to communicate better. Maybe they are healing from old wounds. Maybe they are learning self-worth, patience, and emotional maturity. At the same time, the person they're meant to meet is also evolving, growing, and getting ready. The delay isn't because love is not coming. The delay is because both hearts need to be prepared. When the right person enters their life, the timing will be so perfect that they'll look back and say, now I understand why I had to wait. Delays also reveal who you really are. When everything is fast and easy, anyone can remain calm. But when progress slows down, when things don't move, when you feel stuck, that's when your true character appears. Delays teach patience, discipline, humility, and trust. They teach you that you don't control everything. They teach you to let go of fear and hold on to faith. A delay is like the space between one chapter and the next. It gives you time to breathe, reflect, and gather strength before the story continues. Consider a traveler at the airport. Their flight gets delayed. At first, they're frustrated and maybe even angry. But what they don't know is that the delay might be protecting them. Perhaps there was a technical issue, unpredictable weather, or something unsafe ahead. The delay might feel irritating in the moment, but it is actually a shield. It is safety in disguise. The same is true in your life. Sometimes God delays something because the road ahead is not ready yet. He protects you from walking into storms you were never meant to face. Even nature teaches us that delays are essential. Before a butterfly can fly, it must remain inside the cocoon. To an outsider, it looks like nothing is happening, but inside, transformation is taking place. If you cut the cocoon too early, the butterfly's wings won't develop strong enough to fly. The delay isn't punishment. It is strength building. It is preparation for the flight. Right now in your own life, there may be something you are waiting for, a breakthrough, a job, a healing, a solution, a turning point. You may feel stuck, frustrated, or forgotten, but you are not forgotten. You are being prepared. You are being positioned. You are being strengthened. The delay is tailoring the blessing to fit you perfectly. And when the blessing finally arrives, it will not feel late. It will feel right on time. So instead of asking, why is this taking so long? Begin asking, what is this teaching me? How is this preparing me? Because once you accept that delays are preparation, not punishment, you stop fighting the wait. You start growing through it. And that growth is exactly what turns your delay into your destiny. Your breaking point is often God's starting point. It's a truth that most people resist because when we reach the end of ourselves, it feels like defeat. We feel weak, drained, and hopeless. We feel like we've tried everything, that the weight of the world is pressing down on us, and that there is no way forward. And yet, it is precisely in that space, that place of exhaustion, frustration, and despair, where the most extraordinary breakthroughs happen. When your patience, strength, and resolve are completely spent, that is often the exact moment when God steps in to begin something incredible. Think about the everyday examples we see around us. Imagine a person who has been working tirelessly at a business, investing countless hours, money, and energy, yet they keep hitting roadblocks. They've faced rejections, failed deals, and mounting pressure. One night, after trying yet another strategy that doesn't work, they sit at their desk, head in hands, ready to quit. That moment, when all hope seems gone, is often the turning point. It is the precise moment that forces them to dig deeper, rethink their approach, and open themselves to new strategies they would have never considered if everything had been smooth. Their breaking point pushes them into creativity, into courage, and ultimately into a breakthrough they could not have reached otherwise. Look at athletes, for example. A runner in the last leg of a marathon feels their legs burning, their lungs screaming, and every fiber of their body pleading to stop. That point where the body wants to quit is often where champions are made. The runner doesn't stop. They push a little further, step by step, breath by breath, ignoring the pain and trusting the process. That's when they discover an inner strength they didn't know existed. An untapped reserve that only emerges when all other options seem exhausted. The breaking point is not the end. It is the threshold where extraordinary strength reveals itself. In our personal lives, breaking points also manifest in relationships. Imagine someone trying to hold a friendship or marriage together, giving their heart, love, and attention, but constantly feeling unappreciated or misunderstood. They reach a moment where they are emotionally spent, where tears seem endless, where words no longer matter. That moment is excruciating, yet it is transformative. Because at that point, they are forced to reflect deeply on boundaries, self-worth, and priorities. They are forced to confront reality and decide whether to fight with wisdom or release with grace. That breaking point often becomes the start of a renewed, healthier relationship, or the beginning of a new chapter that brings them closer to the peace and love they deserve. Even in academics or professional growth, breaking points carry profound lessons. A student preparing for exams might study day and night, pushing themselves to the limit only to feel that nothing is sticking. They reach the edge of exhaustion, questioning whether their efforts will ever pay off. But that edge forces focus. That edge triggers a moment of clarity where they begin to understand strategies, remember lessons, and organize their efforts with precision. The breaking point forces them to dig beyond ordinary effort and enter extraordinary action, the kind that leads to success they would have thought impossible. Breaking points also reveal the core of our faith and resilience. Think about moments when life feels unfair, when opportunities are lost, or when circumstances seem overwhelming. You may feel like giving up, like retreating into despair, like surrendering entirely. But these moments are not accidents. They are signs that something new is about to start. They are the pressure that compresses coal into diamonds. They are the furnace that shapes metal into strength. When all else fails, when your patience has run out and your plans have crumbled, that is the divine invitation to step into something far greater. That's when God begins to move, when doors you never imagined begin to open, when guidance appears from unexpected sources, and when solutions come that you could never engineer on your own. Consider the example of someone facing a health crisis. They've tried different treatments, endured pain, and exhausted every option. At the moment, they feel completely broken. When they can no longer carry the weight of fear and uncertainty, something shifts. They may find new hope, a treatment that works, or the courage to embrace lifestyle changes that lead to healing. Their breaking point becomes the starting point of restoration, strength, and resilience. The beauty of the breaking point is that it strips away pretense. It removes illusions of control and forces honesty. It pushes you to stop relying solely on yourself and to open up to guidance, wisdom, and strength beyond your own. It creates clarity. It reveals priorities. It strengthens faith. It ignites courage. And it awakens a new level of determination that ordinary circumstances could never awaken. Every story of transformation follows this pattern. Every breakthrough begins where patience ends, where comfort stops, and where weakness meets surrender. The breaking point is not your failure, it is your invitation. It is the moment when your old self falls away so your stronger, wiser, and more powerful self can emerge. It is the signal that your miracle is on the horizon. So if you find yourself at that point, exhausted, worn out, ready to give up, do not despair. Lean into it. Recognize it for what it truly is, the start of your new chapter. Because often the greatest stories, the most remarkable achievements, and the most life-changing miracles begin exactly where your patience and strength run out. That is not the end. That is where God starts writing a new beginning in your life. Growth happens in pressure, not comfort. This is a principle that life relentlessly teaches us, yet most people resist it because pressure is uncomfortable, inconvenient, and often painful. Comfort feels safe, effortless, and familiar. But comfort rarely produces change, transformation, or greatness. Growth, the kind that reshapes your mind, strengthens your spirit, and stretches your potential, almost always requires pressure. The kind of pressure that challenges you, tests you, and pushes you to your limits. Without it, life remains stagnant, dreams remain distant, and potential remains untapped. Think about everyday examples. Take the case of a student learning a new skill, like playing a musical instrument or mastering a subject. In moments of comfort, they might casually practice for a few minutes, distracted, unfocused, and unconcerned about mistakes. Progress is slow. But put that same student under pressure, an upcoming recital, a critical exam, or a performance that will be evaluated, and suddenly something remarkable happens. Their focus sharpens, their practice intensifies, and they discover abilities they didn't realize they had. The pressure forces them to concentrate, adapt, and grow in ways that comfort never could. Athletes provide a perfect mirror for this truth. Consider a sprinter training for the Olympics. Every day they push their body to exhaustion, running until their legs burn. Lungs scream and muscles shake. In comfort, they could jog, stretch, or train half-heartedly, but that would never create an Olympic champion pressure. Whether from competition, deadlines, or personal goals, is the crucible in which champions are formed. That intense demand doesn't just improve physical strength, it cultivates mental toughness, resilience, and unshakable discipline. Growth only comes when the easy path is abandoned in favor of effort, challenge, and persistence. Even in professional life, growth is born from pressure. Think of a person navigating a high-stakes project at work. When tasks are simple, colleagues are cooperative, and deadlines are generous, progress is steady but unremarkable. Place them in a situation where resources are limited, deadlines are tight, and unexpected obstacles appear. Suddenly, creativity blooms, decision-making sharpens, and leadership emerges. The pressure forces them to stretch beyond their comfort zone. It reveals capabilities they never knew existed. Without that challenge, growth would remain superficial, confined to what is familiar and easy. Pressure also teaches patience, persistence, and perspective. Consider someone caring for a sick family member. Every day brings challenges, emotional strain, physical exhaustion, and moments of doubt. Comfort could never teach the depth of compassion, the endurance of the human spirit, or the gratitude for small victories that this pressure cultivates. It is in the tension of responsibility and struggle that profound personal growth occurs. Life's pressures refine character, instill humility, and sharpen wisdom in ways comfort never could. Even financially, pressure catalyzes growth. Someone managing tight budgets, unexpected bills, or career uncertainty learns resourcefulness, innovation, and resilience. They discover creative solutions to problems that seemed insurmountable. Without the urgency, they might have remained complacent, relying on ease and routine. Pressure transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement. It teaches lessons about patience, strategy, and perseverance that only adversity can deliver. Pressure also prepares you for future challenges. Think of a firefighter or emergency responder. Every intense, high-stakes situation they face, rushing into burning buildings, saving lives, making split-second decisions, is pressure in its purest form. Without these moments, they would not be ready when true emergencies arise. Growth through pressure ensures that when the ultimate test comes, you are capable, resilient, and ready to perform at your highest potential. Even in relationships, growth occurs under pressure. Couples navigating disagreements, misunderstandings, or financial strain often face moments of tension that feel unbearable. Comfort, in contrast, offers a peaceful but stagnant dynamic. Under pressure, communication skills sharpen, patience strengthens, and empathy deepens. Couples who navigate challenges successfully grow stronger together. Pressure is not a punishment. It is the workshop in which love, understanding, and mutual respect are forged. The key is perspective. Pressure feels like adversity, but it is actually opportunity. When life pushes, challenges, or tests you, it is shaping you, stretching you, and preparing you for the next level. Every difficult conversation, every demanding task, every overwhelming responsibility is a chance for personal evolution. Growth is rarely comfortable because transformation is rarely comfortable. If it were easy, everyone would do it, and extraordinary results would be ordinary. Consider the caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. It doesn't simply glide out of its cocoon. It struggles. The resistance it faces in breaking free strengthens its wings, preparing it for flight. Without that pressure, it would emerge weak, incapable of soaring. Life works in the same way. The pressures, trials, and moments of strain you face are not punishments. They are the forces that strengthen your wings, preparing you for your next ascent. So when life feels heavy, when responsibilities overwhelm you, when obstacles seem insurmountable, remember growth happens in pressure, not comfort. Lean into the challenge. Embrace the tension. See it as the opportunity to stretch beyond what you thought possible. Every push, every trial, every demanding situation is a seed of transformation. The pressure you face today is sculpting the strength, resilience, and wisdom you will rely on tomorrow. The next time you feel crushed, overwhelmed, or tested, remind yourself that comfort never grows champions. Pressure does. Pressure turns ordinary moments into extraordinary breakthroughs. Pressure forces clarity, courage, and persistence. And through pressure, you do not just survive. You evolve, you grow, you rise, and you discover the person you were truly meant to become. Miracles require emptiness. It sounds counterintuitive at first, doesn't it? How can something extraordinary, something life-changing be born out of emptiness? But that is exactly how life works. Every great transformation, every breakthrough,